going to learn how to find upper and lower bounds. Here one question is the 170 centimeter measured to the nearest 10 centimeter. Here I'm going to explain how to find the lower and upper bound of this 170 centimeter. Here this 170 centimeter is measured to the nearest 10 centimeter. Okay. First I'm going to take the values that values are nearest to 170 centimeter. These are the values that values are nearest to 170 centimeter. That is 164, 165 up to 175. The next day, I'm going to round off each value to the nearest tens. That means if we round off this 164 to the nearest tens, then we will get the answer 160. Then 165 round off to the nearest tens. That case, we will get the answer 170. Then 166 case, we will get the answer 170. 167 case, 170. This case, 170. 169 case, 170. 170 case, 170. 171, 170. Then 172, 170. Then 173 case, you will get the value 170. 174 case, you will get the value 170. And 175 case, 180. These all values are round off to the nearest tens. Okay, that is here we rounded this value to the nearest tens. Then that time we got this value 162. These values we got. Okay, then here you can check one part, that is this value 170. This 165 when we round out to nearest tens, that case we got the value 170. Then 174 up to 174 we got the value 170. That means this all values case 165 to 174, these all values case we got 170. Then this case 164 case, the other value, that what is that value 160, and 175 case we got the value 180. Now we are going to check the values in between 164 and 165. Now we are going to check the values in between 164 and 165. That means the values in between 164 and 165 are 164.1, 164.2, and then 164.9. These are the values in between 164 and 165. Next, we are going to round off these each value to the nearest tens. That means if you round off this each value to the nearest tens, then in that case we will get the answer 160. Then that means here we can say that the smallest value that would round to the nearest, that would round to the 70. Which value? That one 165 is the smallest value that would round to the 70. Okay, that means we can say that this 165 is the smallest value. That means 165 is the lower bound of which one? This 170. That is lower. We got the lower bound value. What is lower bound value? 165. Because all other values in between 164 and 165, if you round, then we will get the answer 160. It is not 170. That means this 165 is the smallest value that would round to 170. Okay, that means lower bound we got 165. The next, the same way, we are going to check the values in between 174 to 175. We are going to check the values in between 174 to 175. These are the values 174.1, 174.2, then up to 174.9. If you round off this value to the nearest tens, that case we will get the answer 170. You can check this case also, we got the answer 170. That means up to 174.9 we got the answer 170. If you round off this value, that means to the nearest tens we will get the answer, which answer we got here 170. That means then now we can check the values in between 174.9 and which number 175. That is these are the values in between 174.9 and 175. That means the 174.91, 174.92, 174.93, and 174.99. Again, if we round off that value to the nearest 10, we will get the answer 170. Then again, we can find the value in between 174.99 and 175. Then all those cases, if we round off that value to the nearest 10, we will get the answer 170. That means this case, we can't find the highest value that would round to the number 170. That means here in this case, we are taking that number. We can't find that number that would round to 170. That means we are taking the next number as the upper bound. That means we are going to take 175 as the upper bound. But if we round off that 175 to the nearest 10, we will not get the value 170. We will get the next value. What is that one? 180. That means this is the which one? We are taking this part 175 as the upper bound because we can't find the highest value. That value would round to the nearest, that value round to the 70. That number we can't find. That's why we are going to take the next number as the highest, that next number as the upper bound. Okay, that means this case we can write upper bound is equal to 175. Then you can note one thing, if we round off this lower bound, then that case we will get the value 170. That is 170 we will get. But in upper bound case, if we round off that value, that case we will not get the answer 170. We will get the answer, the next value 180. What is the reason? Because we can't find the highest value that would round to 170. That's why we are taking the next number as the upper bound. That is 175 we are taking as a upper bound. But if we round off this number, then we will not get which one? 170. We will get the next number 180. It's very important. Note this part, upper bound. Okay. Then we can write this one as a inequality like this: 165 less than or equal to x less than 175. Because here we can't include equal to. Because why we can't include equal to here? Because in 175 case we will get which one? If we round off this 175 to the nearest 10, that case we will get the next number 180. We will not get the number 170. That's why we are not including equal to in this upper bound case. Okay, that means the values in between 165 to 175 included which part also 165 also. That case we will get the answer which one? If you round off that value to the nearest tens, we will get the answer 170. Then this 165 is the lower bound and upper bound 175 is the upper bound. We can write that one as an inequality form. That means we can write like this. Okay, this instead of this x, you can take any other variable also, any other letter also you can take to represent this inequality. Okay, then next we are going to find lower bound and upper bound by using some tricks. The first one, 1400 kilometer measured to the nearest 100 kilometer. Then this case you have to check this part is a 1400 kilometer is measured to the nearest 100 kilometer. Yet first take this part 100. Okay, then after that one find the half of this value, half of this 100. Half of this 100 means 100 divided by 2. First find that part. That means we will get the answer 50. Then to find lower bound, subtract this 50 from this 1400. That means we can write like this: 1400 minus 50. That is 1350 is the lower bound. To find upper bound, add this 50 to which number? 1400. That is we can write like this: 1400 plus 50. That means we will get the answer 1450. That is the upper bound. Then we can write it as an inequality like this: 1350 less than or equal to x less than 1450. Okay, then next problem. Oh, no, again we are going to revise that part. That is the lower bound. We can find like this: upper bound and is the final answer. We can write it as a inequality. Okay, the next problem. 1260 meter measured to the nearest 10 meter. Then here in this case, you have to first take which part? First take this part to the nearest 10 meter. Then first find half of this 10. That is, this value is rounded to the 10, nearest tens. That means here in this case, you have to take half of this 10. What is half of 10? That is 10 divided by 2, 5. To find lower bound, subtract this value from 1260. That is 1260 minus 5, you will get the answer 1255. To find upper bound, add this value to which one? 1260. That is 1260 plus which number? The 5. Then we will get 1265. That is upper bound. Then we can write it as an inequality like this: 1255 less than or equal to x. Here only less than. Okay, 1265. That is, the question is 1260 meter measured to the nearest 10 meter. You have to first take this 10 and find half of that 10. Then after that, to subtract, then we will get the lower bound. Then add, we will get the upper bound. Then we can write it as a inequality. The next problem: 73 centimeter measured to the nearest centimeter. Say nearest centimeter or nearest kilometer or nearest meter or nearest whole number. That case, we know that one is a only centimeter means is a 1 centimeter. Only meter means only 1 meter. Nearest whole number case. All these case use which number? 1. Because centimeter means is a 1 centimeter. That case use the number 1. That is 1 divided by, first find the half of that one, that is 1 divided by 2. We know the answer 0.5. Then to find lower bound, subtract that value, then that we will get the answer 72.5. To find upper bound, add that value, we'll get the answer 73.5. Then we can write it as an inequality like this: 72.5 less than or equal to x less than 73.5. That is, this is the question. 73 centimeter measured to the nearest centimeter. Nearest centimeter, what is the meaning of nearest centimeter? Is 1 centimeter. That is 1 divided by 2, that is 0.5. Subtract to find lower bound and add to find upper bound, and we can write it as an inequality like this. Okay, the next problem: 3.2 centimeter measured to the nearest 0.1 centimeter, or we can write like this: to the nearest 1 dp. Okay, nearest 1 dp case or 0.1 centimeter, both are same. Okay, then this case we know is a nearest 0.1 centimeter or nearest 1 dp. This case we first take which one? 0.1. Then first find half of this 0.1. That means 0.1 divided by 2. We will get the answer 0.05. Then to find lower bound, subtract the value. To find upper bound, add that value. Then we can write it as an inequality like this. Okay, then that means 3.2 centimeter measured to the nearest 0.1 centimeter. This question they can ask in another way: which one? Nearest 1 dp. That way also they can ask. Nearest 1 dp case, you get to use the number 0.1. First to find the half of that one, that is 0.05. Then subtract, then we will get the answer. We will get upper bound and add, then we will get the upper bound. If we subtract that case, you will get the answer, that is the lower bound. Add case, you add that 0.05 to 3.2, that case you will get upper bound. Then we can write it as an inequality like this. Okay, so next problem: 5.23 millimeter measured to the nearest 0.01 millimeter, or they can ask this question like this: measured to the nearest 2 dp. Then 2 dp case, use which number? The number 0.01. Then first to find half of 0.01. Okay, 1 dp case, use which number? 0.1. 1 dp case. 2 dp case, use the number 0.01. Okay, here 2 decimal places are there. Clear? Okay, then first to find the half of that 0.01. That means we can write like this: 0.01 divided by 2. Then we will get the answer 0.005. Then subtract to find lower bound and add to find upper bound. Then we can write it as an inequality like this: that is 5.225 less than or equal to x less than 5.235. Okay, that means the question: 5.23 millimeter measured to the nearest 0.01 millimeter, or they can ask this question like this: nearest 2 dp. That case, use the number 0.01. First to find the half of that 0.01, then subtract to find lower bound, add to find upper bound, then write like this a inequality. Okay, then next, significant figures case. This case we are going to find in another way. We are going to find this answer. Okay, then that case you don't check the part 2 significant, 1 significant, 3 significant, because I'm going to explain why don't use that part. Because this question, you can check this question: 1300 kilometer measured to the nearest two significant. Then the same way, and another question, and this question also 1.7 centimeter measured to the nearest two significant. You can check this one. This is a two significant figure value. This is also two significant figure value. These both values are same. But this question case, don't check this part two significant or two significant, because by using this part we can't find the answer. Then this question case, you have to check this part is a 1300. This 1300, from here we will get the idea. This 1300 means this value is rounded to the nearest 100. That is, this value 1300 is the nearest 100 value. This 1300. That case, use the number 100 divided by 2. Half of that 100. That 100 divided by 2, 50. Then you can check this value. This value is rounded to the nearest 1 dp. This value is, from here we will get the idea, this value is nearest to 1 dp, rounded to the nearest 1 dp. That case, use the number, which number? 1 dp case, use the number 0.1. Then find the half of 0.1, that is 0.1 divided by 2. You will get the answer 0.05. Then to find lower bound, subtract this 50. In this case, subtract this 50 from this 1300, that is 1300 minus 50, that is 1250. Then to find this case, to find lower bound 1.7, then minus 0.05, then we will get the answer 1.65. Then this case, to find upper bound 1300 plus 50, that is, you will get the answer 1350. Then this case, to find upper bound 1.7 plus 0.05, then we will get answer 1.75. Then we can write this one as a inequality like this: 1250 less than or equal to x less than 1350. Then this case, the value 1.65 less than or equal to x less than 1.75.